That was close. Woo. All right. What is going on, everybody? How we doing? How we doing? I'm sorry to disappoint, but I am on time. Oh my god. All right. We got an amazing chapter to talk about. Oh, my hair's so poofy right now. The fuck? Good enough. All right. Yeah. Did you guys read that shit? It's pretty crazy. What is going on? All right. First, let's get the stream likes up to 50 real quick. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. No, I was on time. Well, I mean, I could show you guys. Here, we can do the same old song and dance, but I can literally show you guys. Here. So you can see I've been live for 1 minute. Yeah, so I'm good. All right. Continuing on. Uh let's start catching up with these supers. I was live at 6 p.m. EST. At 6 p.m. EST. You guys don't understand the way the system works. Look. So that means that at the time that I started stream, right? So like, let's see. Okay, so as soon as it hits 2 minutes, right? Hold on. Let's see, 2 minutes. So 2 minutes back from this, it was 5 p.m. So I'm good. I'm clean. I'm in the clear. All right, continuing on. Enough of this nonsense. Okay. Let's get into it. Andrew McCarthy, thanks to the 2. Roger's disease from Emu. Luffy gets it in Elbaf. I don't think it'll be from Emu, but maybe... Shoot. Because if Roger got it in Elbaf, then, like, what the fuck would have happened to... Oh, you're saying it's not related. Okay, Roger gets a disease from Emu. I don't know. It's like... The disease takes, what, like, another 20 years to work, roughly? Like, 15-ish years or so. It takes a while to work. So I don't know if it'll be from Emu, but maybe it'll be from particular, so like some way we do the some adventure, you know. Attilia says, "Have you seen the Chainsaw Man movie?" I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. Yeah, I think it'll be some similar point in their adventure that Roger will get the disease that Luffy will also get. I think it should be the same or similar disease, so then Chopper can shine. Let's get the stream likes up to 100 real quick. Emu giving people cancer would be crazy. I mean, Whitebeard was on life support. Andrew McCarthy, thanks to the dude. Captain John equals kids past life legacy lives on. Yeah. I like how Captain John's going out pretty much the same way that kid goes out. Stormy says, "Are you seeing it in theaters?" Yeah, I think that's the only way to see it, right? So I'm seeing it in theaters tomorrow. Brandino, thanks to the 2. What do those Shaolin monks teach Wemby? This chapter is too hype for me to derail it with basketball. Unfortunately, people would be too upset. But I'll just say, I didn't watch that game live that you're referring to. I watched the highlights. And someone said that this is like the best highlight reel I ever saw. And I would agree. That is probably the most insane single NBA game highlight reel I've ever seen. And people were saying that the game itself was even more impressive than the reel. Yeah, we'll probably be tuning into Wemby games after this. Let's get stream likes up to 100 real quick. Carnage, thanks for the 5s. Rocks, Heartbreak, it can't end like this. He deserved to go out on his own terms like Roger and Whitebeard. Surely he has to resist a little to the Domi reversy. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to... I think that this would be really, really, really abrupt if this is like... If that was Rocks' final moment that he had his, his mind and consciousness. Because, Oda dedicated a full-ass chapter to Kuma having his consciousness erased forever, right? Like, he dedicated a whole-ass chapter, one of the most iconic, most elaborate montages in One Piece history, most dramatic send-offs ever, and that might have even been a fake-out, right? So it's possible that was even just like a temporary thing where Kuma might even get his mind back, right? So for Rocks, who is like... obviously been had just as elaborate of a flashback as Kuma, if this moment is the moment that his mind is erased and like he's basically now just a puppet forever, then that would be, if that were the case. I've seen some people getting some flack for unwarranted flack, I think, prematurely. But if that were the case, then I think obviously that would be terrible. But I highly doubt that's the case, just because it's like Oda. Like, consider this: even when Oda is just pretending to kill off a character forever, even when he's pretending, and God knows the man likes to pretend, even when he's pretending, he likes to really fucking stretch that shit out, right? And give a very, very elaborate sort of send-off, right? And that's when he's faking it, right? Anytime Oda actually kills a character, obviously he goes balls to the wall and tries to milk that as much as possible, right? Rightfully so. With Rocks, there's so much potential tragic writing for him here. So I think that if this was actually the end of Rocks' consciousness forever, then if that were the case, then obviously that would be ass, because like just compare it to when that shit happened to Kuma, and Oda was possibly even faking it with Kuma, right? So my feeling is just obviously that we're not done with this situation yet. Let's wait and see how it plays out. I think that we know that we're just getting into the mix of shit. All right, we're just getting into the mix, okay? Because what comes next is Rocks, Garp, Roger fighting, all duking it out or whatever, right? I'm not saying God Valley is going to go on forever and ever. I'm not trying to say that, like, I think that, but the wheels have just started turning, right? We don't know where this is going to go. I am fairly certain that Haki is a strong counter to Imu's bullshit, because so far, historically, Haki has been a counter. It's just that you need probably strong enough Haki to do it, and I've been saying that I think all of this leads up to a really big Haki bloom for Roger, but I'll elaborate on that more in next Tuesday's video. But I highly doubt that this was just the abrupt ending to everything with Rocks. I personally feel that either Rocks himself will be able to fight back in some way, because remember, Rocks is going to be posed with, it's one thing to be Domi reversied right now in this moment, right? It's another thing entirely where Rocks is, like, mindlessly charging towards his wife and child and raising his sword to kill them. Do you really think that in that moment, it's not possible that Rocks' like own willpower might fight back? I think we got to wait for that moment to see if Rocks is able to fight back in some way, right? At the same time, maybe Rocks isn't able to fight back, and maybe it's down to Roger and Garp to try and stop him and able to drive out Imu's presence or control with Haki or something like that. I think there's the story is yet to unfold, right? So Oda's just posed us with a problem. I do understand people feeling like Imu shouldn't be able to Domi reversy someone as powerful as Rocks, period. But I guess this goes to cement just how powerful Imu's abilities are. But I do still feel like Haki is a counter. You just need extreme Haki to do it, and I think that that's something that we will need to wait to see play out over the rest of God Valley. Keenan, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 37 months, man. Morge, if you could create one devil fruit that we haven't seen yet, what would it be? It could be for IRL purposes or to find the One Piece. Oh, for IRL purposes? I mean, I would probably just, I'd copy some fruit from some other series, or some ability from some other series. Like, I always like, well, we have a time devil fruit in One Piece, but it's the most boring version of a time power you can have to not break the story, right? To be fair, I don't think any of us want time travel in One Piece, but something that allows you to actually stop time or something, that's always been one of my favorite abilities. I would like that IRL or to find the One Piece. If I was in the One Piece world, I don't think I'd be trying to find the... No, maybe I would be. I think I would be trying to find the One Piece, but I wouldn't be, like, mindlessly going from island to island to find it. I think I would go... If I were trying to find the One Piece, I think that I would probably be picking more so something along the lines of the Blackbeard route. I think that is just the smarter way to do it, which is you gotta let other people collect the road poneglyphs, because that shit is a pain in the ass, right? Let other people collect the road poneglyphs, then you need to take them out and take the road poneglyphs from them. I think that's just how you got... That's the most efficient way to do it, I think. Marcel Beans, thanks for the 2. Emu looks like the Phantom Blot from Mickey Mouse. I don't know what that is, But I do think that it's cool that we've realized that Imu is just a shadow. So Oda hasn't been hiding Imu's face. I mean, I'm sure maybe Imu has some sort of true face or true form. But maybe ever since Imu became what he became, he's just been in this shadow form, right? So I think that that's cool. Moses Slimy Morge, the artist says be a rat. I mean, it's the most efficient route. It's the most efficient route. Who's got time like the Straw Hats to fucking like just randomly sail from island to island and just through sheer chance, it's like, oh, the island we fucking sailed to, Zo, it has one of the 4 road poneglyphs. It's like there's a fucking million islands out there, and it's like, well, we chose to go to Zo. Here's a free. It's literally like this shit's the hardest stuff to find in the fucking universe, but the first time, like before they even start the quest to find it, they just randomly go to one island where they're like, here's a free road poneglyph to get your journey started, and we'll also tell you where the other 2 road poneglyphs are. And to be fair, you could say that Blackbeard's route is the rat route of like, oh, he's trying to steal the road poneglyphs from other people to accumulate it. That's the same as the Straw Hats do. They do the same shit. What's the difference between Blackbeard's route versus the Straw Hats route? The Straw Hats' initial route is just adventuring, but now that I think about it, they're the rats. They didn't even fight Big Mom. They literally snuck into her territory to steal the poneglyph, and then they're like, yeah, now we're gonna go take Kaido's too, right? So forget it. It's not even, I don't feel bad saying I'd take Blackbeard's route. That's the same as Luffy's route. You still gotta earn it, right? You still gotta get the road poneglyphs. Blackbeard does go the rattier option in that, like, Luffy's like, I'll take on the Yonko to get it, whereas Blackbeard's like, I'll ambush Trafalgar Bum to get it. So obviously Luffy takes on a bit more of a challenge, but the strategy is ultimately the same. Like, there's not much else to do, right? It's just like, okay, well, who's got the road poneglyphs? We'll just take it from them. Let's get the stream likes up to 100 real quick. Tio Treviso, thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 6 months, man. Imo will be defeated not with a Bajran gun from Luffy or Shanks/Dragon, but by Blackbeard using the Yami Yami no Mi against Imu, also nullifying the Immortality to kill not just Imu, but also the Gorosei. So I've got a lot of thoughts right now. I think that there's, I do think that there's 2 ways that Imu's immortality is dealt. So, okay, let me get it started with this, okay? Conqueror's Haki, I'm very certain, counters Imu's regeneration. However, I don't think you can kill him like that, all right? Conqueror's Haki, at a higher level, like for example, if Joy Boy was here using his Conqueror's Haki, I think that could fuck up Imu pretty good. I still think it can't kill him. Similar example being the God's Knights, right? Like, you can fight them with Conqueror's Haki, like Gaban can chop up Sommers, Rocks can chop up Garling and stuff, and you can make them hurt, you can make them pay, but even that can't kill them, right? So it does seem like the immortality stuff, whatever, it does really stick. With Imu, they're not even there. Like, they can't even stop his regeneration, period, right? But I do think a higher level of Conqueror's Haki application can do the same thing, because we've already seen this showcased for us with the God's Knights and the Gorosei, right? So there's 2 questions here. How do you hurt Imu? Conqueror's Haki, right? But how do you really stop him living, period? I think the 2 answers are either Yami Yami no Mi, that's probably why Blackbeard went for it, right? Because Imu's immortality is based in a Devil Fruit ability, right? It's established that he had the Ope Ope no Mi surgery performed on him, right? Or at least Oda's kind of spelling that out for us if you go back and read, what is it, chapter 1086, right? I think the other route is Law performing the Ope Ope no Mi surgery thing to maybe, if Law, like, maybe reverse the surgery that's done on Imu, if that's a possibility. I think that's the 2 ways. Anyway. Isis1155 says, but Imu tanked their advanced Conqueror's Haki no difficulty, so Luffy is magically going to get stronger than all of them put together. I don't read too much into the all of them put together thing. I view them all as separate attacks that happen to hit at the same time. I think that you need one attack that is individually stronger than any of those individual attacks. And like, look, let me just get this off, right? I elaborate on this more in next Tuesday's video, but I'm not, it's just the silliest thing, all right? Let me get this shit off, okay? what we're seeing with Emu is not anything new whatsoever in One Piece. It is not new. It is the same bullshit. It is Oda's favorite ability. He has repeated the same exact villain concept 50 different times in the story. It's his favorite thing. We have been seeing the same exact cycle that we are seeing right now with Emu since fucking Logtown. Okay? Oda's favorite bullshit, which we all love, but it is his favorite bullshit, it's his favorite recycled material, is introduce new villains with the special ability of they can't be damaged. Oh no! How do we hit Smoker? He's made of smoke. How do we hit Crocodile? He's made of fucking sand. And then the answer is always Haki. It's like, okay, you can't hit Smoker, you can't hit Crocodile. Here's the answer. You need Haki. It's like, okay, that fixes it. New characters. Kaido. We can't damage Kaido. Lunarians. We can't damage Lunarians. The answer is advanced Haki. So then you learn some advanced Haki and now you can damage them, right? You move a little further. It's like Gorosei, God's Knights. New shtick. You hit them, you can't damage them because they regenerate. What could possibly be the answer? It's like, okay, it's fucking a more advanced application of Conqueror's Haki, apparently, according to Gaban, Rocks, etc., right? Emu. All right, well, how fucking dumb do we have to be to get tricked by the same shit for the, like, 4th time in the row? It's not new. This is just Oda's thing. It's just Oda's thing. Character can't be damaged. Yes, they can. Haki. New level of Haki. Character can't be damaged. Oh no! A new level of Haki. Character can't be damaged. New level of Haki. I don't know why people think that it's somehow going to be different. The man has been doing this forever. Like, this is just how One Piece fucking works. I don't know why, like, it's just a little cycle. It's just it's the most straightforward thing in the fucking world. There's no fucking secret to it. People are naturally going to be freaking out because it's like, well, all these advanced Conqueror's Haki users hit Emu, and their moves didn't work. Therefore, this time the answer can't possibly be Haki, but no. The answer is Haki. Just go back and read chapter 1122. Emu was freaked out by Joyboy's Haki. It's like more likely than not, just based on how Oda likes fucking writing the story, it's gonna be Haki. It's just a higher level of Haki. It's not anything. It's not gonna be some groundbreaking thing. Like, there's no magic sauce. It's just like, I don't know why people are freaking out so much about this. It's like, they can't damage Emu. How can they not damage Emu? Haki doesn't work anymore. It's like, have you fucking read the story? Like how many times has Oda, like, done this shit to us? It's just the same thing he does every time. It's just Haki. It's just Haki. It's just a new level of Haki. It's just, I don't understand people freaking out. I'm just like, oh, Oda's pulling the Logia bullshit again. We're treating it like it's chapter 100, you know? Anyway, continuing on. I do think that the immortality aspect, I think Emu can't be killed with just Haki, but he can be hurt. Because it looks like I'm basing it off of, like, what Gaban showed us. Like, you can fuck up the God's Knights. You can basically stop or, like, you can fuck up their regeneration abilities, right? Like, Rocks with Garling, yada, yada. But the immortality, like, the actual not dying part, that does seem to stick, right? So that's probably why Yami Yami no Mi or Ope Ope no Mi needs to be involved. But in terms of actually, like, countering what they can do and, like, stopping them from, like, actually making them eat damage, right? That part, making them eat damage, it's just going to be Haki again. I don't know why it's different. I don't know why anyone thinks it's different. Continuing on. Okay, Meek, thanks for the 10. Great chapter this week. What was the favorite and least favorite point for you? I locked in after not translating 1162. Oh, nice, you translated this one. What was the favorite and least favorite point for you? Favorite and least favorite point. Favorite point was probably the, I don't know if there's a least favorite point. Least favorite point. What's a least favorite point? I don't know if you even call this the least favorite point. I think I would have liked to see more Rocks fighting Emu 1, because it started with Rocks versus Emu 1-on-1, and then it transitioned to the team attack. It's not even a least favorite point. It's just like, I like this. I wish I got more of this, because I would have liked to see that a bit. We got that towards the end, so I guess that's fine. Is there anything else that's least favorite? I don't know what the deal is, what Oda's doing with all the Rocks pirates, like the separate Rocks pirates, like the lower level ones, like Captain John, Gansui, etc. This isn't a least favorite thing. It's just kind of, is this leading somewhere? I like to believe it's leading somewhere. Obviously, it did lead into the Shanks treasure chest thing. But I do have some question marks, like Gloriosa is still nowhere to be found. I don't know what Oda's doing with Shiki, if Shiki's supposed to be meaningful in any way here, because it seemed like that was the case earlier on. I would love to see Rayleigh and Gaban more involved in here, but I think that could change soon. I think they might come to help. There's not really a least favorite point. Favorite point was probably the team attack. The team attack is just straight fan fiction. It's like amazing. Team attack is amazing. Yeah. Let's get stream likes up to 150 real quick. King G, thanks for bringing a Yonko to your member for 3 months. Love this chapter. Can't wait to see how Rocks ends up. Kind of want to see him kill his wife just for the plot. I like Blackbeard a lot more now. I don't think this makes me like Blackbeard anymore because it's kind of like, damn, like so many characters gave so much to basically like save Blackbeard above all else, and like Blackbeard basically spat on so many of their legacies. Yeah, I don't want to see him kill his wife though. I would love to see Rocks be able to resist in some way. It would be really tragic if he ended up killing his wife. Muhammad D. Luffy, do you think this is a real form Emu? Yeah, I think this is basically Emu. I think he manifested through Saturn. Let's get stream likes up to 150 real quick. Ajay, thanks to the 2. Domi reversy anticlimactic plus BS. Anyone can get it. I mean, but this isn't the end of the story, right? Like, I think that we're still going, right? So we're not done with the whole battle yet, right? So let's wait and see how it goes. So I don't view it as anticlimactic. I just view it as like the new twist to the whole flow of events, personally. I mean, if everything just wrapped up immediately next chapter, then maybe I would also feel it's anticlimactic. But to me, this is just like an event that happened that shifts things. Now we need to see, like, is Rocks able to fight it? Are they able to drive the Domi reversy influence out of him? Like, does Emu stay around? Yada, yada. I mean, I've got a lot of thoughts, but that's next Tuesday's video that's coming. Newts, thanks for the 5. Luffy gets Domi reversy. Elbaf parallels Thriller Bark. Ancient Giants, Rocks, Pirates, Zombies. Moria's shadow abilities are like Emus. Straw Hats versus Luffy. I would love to see Straw Hats versus Luffy again. That would be so good. If we could see Straw Hats versus Luffy, shit, that would be awesome. Oh, fuck, what if he Domi reverses Loki? That would be insane. Oh, man. If he Domi reverses Luffy, I would love to see Straw Hats versus Luffy. That would be a dream come true. Because there's so many discussions, like, can Luffy beat all the Straw Hats by himself? Yada, yada. This would just be like, this would be amazing to watch. Let's get stream likes up to 150 real quick. Mr. MMF2, thanks for being a Yonko to your member for 3 years, man. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the new badge. Yo, more Jussie, Whitebeard first named attack hype. Also, this chapter proves why everyone underestimates Rayleigh's strength plus Mr. 5 upscale. Why does this chapter prove why? What did Rayleigh do? I would love to get on the Rayleigh hype train, but I don't think he did anything this chapter. I don't think did Rayleigh do something and I missed it? I mean, he carried Shaki some more. Fuck. What did Rayleigh do? Let me see. Man. I don't see Rayleigh doing anything. He's just running with Shaki. Okay, I don't know what to say. Alright, yeah, Whitebeard first named attack. Yeah, I think this is also the first time that we've seen Whitebeard use a Quake Punch with Conqueror's Haki coding, is what it looked like. Because it looks like Whitebeard's punch also has Conqueror's Haki coming out of it. So, that's pretty cool. Just goes to show what he couldn't do at Marine Ford. Mr. 5 upscale? I mean, the fruit is a good fruit. Son, thanks for the 2. Will Straw Hat members get Domi reversied on Elbaf? I don't know. I like the idea of Luffy getting Domi reversied somehow. And now we know that it should be doable. Yeah, really didn't do anything. Little Dragon 21, thanks to 2. Loved Garp this chapter. Also, Whitebeard first named attack. Yeah. Whitebeard first named attack. That is cool. Of course. Loved Garp this chapter. Yeah, I think Garp. Everyone attacking Emu is obviously really cool. There's just an added meaning to Garp attacking Emu because everybody else is already on the other side, right? Like they're all pirates or whatever. Garp attacking Emu without hesitation, and that's the most important point, without a moment of hesitation, that just carries so much weight because we know that means that like as soon like for Garp, whether you're his boss or the Marines or the Celestial Dragons or fucking Gorosei or whatever, literally none of that matters to him. That's all just fluff, right? He will throw all of that away in a second, right? He's not thinking, is he going to get fired? Is he going to be in trouble? Is he going to get thrown in Impel Down or whatever? Like, that has no relevance. It's just, do I see something that seems wrong? I'm going to go take that down, you know? That's it. Elijah Petty, thanks to 2. Harold's presence wouldn't have made a difference. Shit. Maybe if Harold ate that Elbaf fruit like Rox told him to. That was the plan. Let's keep that in mind. Rox said, I need to eat a fruit, and Harold needs to eat a fruit, and if we both eat our special fruits, then we can fight Emu, right? I don't think Rox was ever like, I don't know. Let's see. I still think Harold showing up can help, not necessarily defeat Emu help, but I would like to see him come through to maybe save Rox in some way. Snap, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 37 months, man. Hey, Morgy Pie, can you start reading Kingdom now? BTW, this is the best backstory in One Piece. How have everything after Wano been 10 out of 10? Insane manga. Yeah, okay, I'm going to go ahead and say, I think Egghead I'd put at like a 9 out of 10 in retrospect. A 9. I want to say 8.5 or 9. I think a 9 is good. 8.5 feels maybe a little low. I think Egghead feels like a 9 out of 10 to me. Elbaf was already a solid 9 out of 10 arc, and then this flashback is just, it's so good, it's crazy. Like, it's just, again, these moments feel like fan fiction. Like, just that spread feels like something a fan might have made. You know, of just like everybody attacking Rox at once. Yeah, it just feels like something a fan would make. And reading Kingdom, I might read Kingdom. I think I might read Kagurabachi next, actually. I kind of want a light, fun read. Oh, man. For those of you who have not watched Lord of Mysteries yet, go fucking watch Lord of Mysteries. The best anime viewing experience I've had in so long. So it is just... Lord of Mysteries, I've hyped this up before. The only reason it's not getting traction right now is because it's Chinese, not Japanese, right? But the Chinese donghwas have been putting out some ridiculously high-quality animated series as of late, like To Be Hero X, Lord of Mysteries. It honestly, it blows most Japanese anime, like visual quality-wise, like just in terms of production experience, right? Production, like artistic experience-wise, it blows pretty much any anime I can think of out of the water. Maybe Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer, I like the story and the characters way better, right? And that's funny because a lot of people critique that. But like, for Lord of like but the main thing people praise about Demon Slayer is obviously like the production, right? The music, animation, atmosphere, all of that, right? Lord of Mysteries is the best animated viewing experience that I've ever had. Like, every single scene from Lord of Mysteries is as good as any animated scene from any anime that I've seen. Like, that's how crazy good it is. I'm not saying the story, plot, or characters are the best. That's where it's kind of weak, but, like, you guys gotta watch Lord of Mysteries. I finished that shit out. Genuinely mind-blowing stuff. You can just watch it and zone and just enjoy it for the artistry. I'm serious. Like, it is that fucking good. Again, if you like to smoke, I would highly recommend smoking and watching it. Don't even worry about missing a bunch of plot points. That's the one thing. It's fucking convoluted as fuck with its plot. But it's just a visual, it's just such a great artistic experience. Lord of Mysteries I loved watching. That in turn made me no longer want to watch Gachi Akuta because I can't go from watching that to Gachi Akuta. So I think I'm going to drop Gachi Akuta. I kind of want to read something now, so I might read Kagurabachi and then I might get to Kingdom. Anyway. The Lord of Mysteries. What's the show called? It's called The Lord of Mysteries. It's called The Lord of Mysteries. Highly, highly recommend it. No, if you the Chinese, I don't know what the fuck they're doing over there, but the Donghua market has been creeping up. Like, it's been creeping up quietly. I think this is the first year that some of their series have kind of like hit the mainstream. Again, To Be Hero X. Maybe that's not quite mainstream, but like it's mainstream adjacent, right? If you said Jujutsu Kaisen, Chainsaw Man, etc. is mainstream, I think that stuff's gonna start breaking out. I'm not saying Lord of Mysteries is perfect. Far from it. Far, far from it. But I'm saying if you just want an amazing, like, late night, sitting down on the couch, big TV, all lights off, just amazing, immersive visual, like, audio visual experience or whatever, that's it. It's really beautiful shit. It's just I think what I noticed with Chinese donghua is that, like, whereas with anime, there's the concept of sakuga, where, like, anime will tend to have, it's okay having more normal animation for certain periods of time and then go hard for certain sections, right? And that's what we call sakuga animation, right? What I've noticed with Chinese donghua is that it's all sakuga, basically. Like, that's how they just... I don't know. They got money over there. They got the labor forces, I suppose. I don't know. Anyway, continuing on. So I don't know how I got off track. I just wanted to shill Lord of Mysteries a little bit because it's my favorite thing that I've seen recently. I'm gonna try Kagurabachi next, and then get into. I do want to try Kingdom soon. I do want to try Kingdom. Wrench Dodger 2000, thanks for being a supernova member for 32 months. Dory, Brogy, and Rocks were all in their homeland. I did see that theory. That you could only be Domi reversied if you're in your homeland. I think that's a very interesting theory. I think it's kind of random, but, you know, devil fruit powers, the way they work, can sometimes be random. I don't know. Mavahid Sadegi, thanks for the 2. I wonder if I won the prediction again or not. You did. You were listed in the... I did the chapter review already. You were listed in the prediction winners. Keith Kuribo, thanks for the 5. Mighty Morphin Morge, is it possible Domi Reversy doesn't work if you have a devil fruit? Oh, that's like an interesting idea. That's kind of... If that's the case, I feel like Roger should have just eaten any devil fruit right at... Like, all these people, Roger, Garp, they should have just eaten a devil fruit right afterwards, you know? Like, why would you hesitate? It's an interesting idea, though. Justin Holland, what's up, man? Thanks for being a Pirate King tier member for 3 years. I hope you're enjoying the new badge. Big Mom and Kaido doubted Luffy's ambition to be Pirate King since they couldn't defeat Imu, even with legendary figures, highlighting their skepticism and Kaido's interest in the Joy Boy legend. Ooh, this could get into the Kaido's interest in the Joy Boy legend, because he might be like, oh, maybe he's been waiting for Joy Boy, because that's a really interesting point, man. Maybe Kaido was waiting for Joy Boy because he knew that Joy Boy was the only one that could defeat Imu. That's a really good point. Empty Mind, thanks to the 2. Rock/others not using Future Sight makes no sense. I mean, it's all I can say. I don't think Oda even remembers Future Sight half the time. Like, I don't even know when Luffy's using Future Sight in, like, so many of his fights. Like, was Luffy using Future Sight against the Gorosei? Was he using it against... Like, put it this way. When Luffy was like, you can't know if Luffy's using Future Sight, because remember when Luffy's fighting Kaido, right? Remember the entire time Luffy's fighting Kaido? We never knew if Luffy's using Future Sight during that. We had no idea. Like, the entire time Luffy's trading punches with Kaido, even after Luffy's got Advanced Conqueror's Haki going, there was no indication that Luffy's using Future Sight until Kaido went out and said, you think you're the only one that can see the future, and then it's established that Kaido is now also started using Future Sight, but then nothing about the fight really changes. It's like Kaido dodges a couple of Luffy's attacks, and then the fight just continues on as normal. So it's like, okay, was Luffy already using Future Sight a lot, and now it's established that Kaido is also now using Future Sight, and it's just, now they're both just using Future Sight, but the flow of the battle remains roughly the same? I don't know. I don't think... Look, my take is always going to be, I personally believe that Oda introduced Future Sight as a concept because Oda has uses for Future Sight in mind in the future for dramatic storytelling. I don't think Oda was really thinking through how, like, the fights aspect of it that much. I think he has scenes in mind. Look, the way I view it, I think with One Piece, a lot of times you can see certain scenes that Oda crafts that obviously are really like hard-hitting, emotionally powerful scenes. And it feels like, to me, lots of times, I think Oda has a certain scene in mind that he views as a very powerful scene, and then he works backwards to kind of create the setup for that scene. But that can sometimes lead to some stuff feeling like a little bit haphazard or half-assed on the way to setting up that scene. It's because Oda really just wants to get to that scene, okay? So, with Future Sight, I personally think the dramatic potential of Future Sight is so strong. We already saw a glimpse of that with, remember when Shanks saw the vision of Kid killing all of Shanks's crewmates and everything like that, and then that led to Shanks like going into this rage and using Divine Departure and everything, right? I think that's a little glimpse of what Oda has in mind for Future Sight down the line. Okay, hold on 1 second. For Luffy, I think that's going to play into how Future Sight is used for Luffy down the line. Because imagine what can be done with Future Sight dramatically if characters can see the future and see terrible things happening. Imagine what Luffy could see, right? He could see, maybe he sees Sabo dying, maybe he sees the Straw Hats dying. Like, it can lead to so many good things. I really think that Oda came up with that concept then and then just worked backwards. Because even when Future Sight's first being introduced as a concept, like, it comes with that iconic line, or not, I guess I view it as an iconic line, that cool line from Beige, which is like, Katakuri, you might be able to see the future, but everyone has the power to change it. And I'm just like, okay, this probably leads to some cool scenes in the future where someone sees a bad future. Like, we see Luffy have a vision, and then it's a terrible vision, and then Luffy changes it. I really think that the inconsistencies with Future Sight are mainly because Oda never really had it planned out how exactly that would impact fights that much to any sort of extensive degree. I think he had it more in mind for dramatic uses in the future. Does that make sense? Hold on. Yeah, he did it already in end of Wano Act 1. Hold on. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, continuing on. Where are we at? Oh my god. Where are we at? This is okay. GK, thanks for the 2. I wonder if Harold will play a role in stopping Rocks. I feel like Harold might come and rescue Rocks and get his ass off the island, or I feel like Harold can come and do something. I don't think Harold will be able to, like, stop the Domi reversy, but who knows? Harold's an interesting character. Really loved him initially, and now I kind of hate him until he does something a little bit different, until he grows a spine again. Also, let's get the stream likes up to 200 real quick. Little Dragon 21, thanks for the 5. What is Law's Fruit's role to conquer the world as per Dofi? It grants the immortality surgery. And we see right now how powerful immortality is. Like, the reason that they cannot damage Imu, the reason they cannot kill him is because he's immortal. It seems like that is the result of the immortality surgery. You just have this extreme regeneration where everything just does not affect you, you know? And you presumably live forever, right? Carnage, thanks for the 5. Why did Emu call Rocks Davy Joneses? Is Davy Jones from the First World and a myth to even Emu? He should know if he was from the Void Century. My feeling is that, Emu might just be seeing Rocks in Davy Jones again, you know? He might just be seeing Rocks in Davy Jones. Davy Jones in Rocks. Like, there might be some strong visual similarities. Maybe Davy Jones's soul was passed on in some way. That's very possible as well. Through Rocks' bloodline. It's hard to say. But I personally don't think that Davy Jones is from the First World. I do think that Davy Jones would be... I think he's a contemporary of Joy Boy. But you never know. New X7, thanks for the 5. Can't stay at UN office party. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hope you're good. Just adding My goat dragon probably has PTSD from God Valley, but how did Shanks change place with a log? Substitution jutsu. Yeah, I mean, people were saying earlier that God Valley might be like dragons. The same thing Marineford was to Luffy, God Valley may have been to Dragon. Like, an event that showed Luffy how far he is, how far off he is from the level of the world, how much stronger he needs to become to actually achieve his goals, right? And also instilling Luffy a deep sense of failure that forces him to rebuild and become a lot stronger. It's very possible that it feels like God Valley is Dragon's version of experiencing that. Obsidian Angel, thanks for the 5. Blackbeard has no Conqueror's Haki, but his Yami Fruit is what will overpower Imu's shadow powers, consuming his powers into Blackbeard's darkness. Yeah, I think I would not be surprised if the fruit that Rox was looking for was the Yami Yami no Mi. I would not be surprised if that's the case. That does beg the question, because Rox might know that that's the thing that can counter Imu's abilities. That does beg the question, okay, if the Elbaf fruit was the Nika fruit, like many have speculated, then does that mean that Rox wanted Herald to have the Nika fruit, and Rox would have the Yami Yami no Mi, and then together they defeat Imu? If that's the case, then I wonder how the Nika fruit counters, maybe it counters Imu's demonic powers in some way. Knut Worgen, thanks for the 5. Fantastic chapter. Imu seems like a legit Lovecraftian monster. I've always been Blackbeard greater than Imu for final villain, but now it's a toss-up. Haki Spirit Bomb? No, I think that an individual level of Haki can counter Imu. I think we already saw that with the Joy Boy Haki Knot. I think Imu fears that level of Haki. We just haven't seen that from any of these characters assembled at God Valley just yet, okay? And I do think Oda's portrayal of Imu here was great. I think showcasing, like, the idea of showcasing a giant team up from all of the legends at once is obviously really epic, and then using that to showcase just how invincible Imu is, and the whole vibe that he gave off this chapter, this feeling of this unkillable shadow that can kind of that never stops coming and engulfs everything. I really like what Oda went with here. Great debut. Phenomenal debut performance from Imu. Phenomenal. Fatingo, thanks for the 2. So glad to see Big Mom being included in the fight. Yeah, big shouts to that, because, like, that's a small choice that Oda made that a lot of people were complaining about last chapter. I think even I was like, damn, it sucks that classic Big Mom not included here, but I like that Oda made the choice here to, like, one way or another, Big Mom needs to be involved in the battle, even if it's not intentional like everybody else. She just is of that significance. She should be in here. Russell Westbrook, thanks for the 2. Captain John getting one shot confirms he's kid's dad. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's not a good look for the... Yeah. Morio Anime, thanks for the 2. Brago said Domi Reversy, Sanji versus Zoro would be fire. I don't know. I think that's a boring matchup to me. I think it would also just be like, if you Domi Reversy Sanji and then have him fight Zoro, I think Oda's never going to do that, because it's just like, from what we've seen, Domi Reversy makes you more powerful, right? So then, from what we've seen, right? So then, if Domi Reversy makes you more powerful and then you have Sanji fight Zoro, then it's just like, even if it's a draw or whatever, then that would basically be like, oh, Zoro's obviously stronger than Sanji. And while we, the reader, can generally intuit that is the case, and people usually just argue about the gaps, right? I don't think Oda's ever gonna concretely define that in the story. So I don't know about that, and I think most people would rather... I just don't know who it makes happy, right? Because Zoro fans view Sanji as beneath him. They don't want Zoro to fight Sanji. They want Zoro to fight somebody that feels like a proper stepping stone to getting to Mihawk, right? Like the strongest swordsman in the world, right? And Sanji fans, if Sanji gets Domi Reversy to fight Zoro, I don't see how that makes them happy, because then it's just like, yeah, you get to see Sanji fight Zoro, but it's like Sanji needed to be Domi Reversied. Like, one, I think anybody, their favorite character, I don't think anybody wants to see their favorite character get Domi Reversied. It seems like a very humiliating experience to be turned into a puppet for the main villain of the story, right? So Sanji being Domi Reversied in the first place, I don't think any Sanji fan would want to see that. And then even if he does, like, have a great fight with Zoro, it's like, okay, well, he had Imu's powers and presumably regeneration and stuff to fight against him. So I don't see how it makes Sanji fans happy either. I think it's just a good way to make both fan bases disappointed, in my opinion. Cadmos, thanks for the 2. I don't get people saying post Elbaf Blackbeard plus Luffy beat Emu. I don't want to see Luffy team up with Blackbeard to fight Emu. That's just not something I'm personally interested in. It's just not something I'm personally interested in. I really think that, to me, the implication is that Joy Boy, if you're Joy Boy, just looking at Emu's reaction, I'm pretty sure Joy Boy can do it solo. So, yeah. Isis, what? I'm gonna hold out on my opinions for all of this in terms of because the Blackbeard, Luffy, Emu triangle, that trifecta, is just one of the most fascinating dynamics in the story. How is that all gonna play out? I'm gonna save my thoughts on that till the end of God Valley. Isis1155, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 25 months, man. I think the regen infantilizes the combo attack. Luffy is not significantly stronger Haki than them. Emu regened instantly. Gear 5 likely only counter. Bad. I don't think that's the case, man. I think the entire story tells us that, Kaido was literally at God Valley, and Kaido tells us that Haki transcends all. So we're going to see at the end of the day something, I'm pretty sure. I think people are being too reactive off of this chapter, right? I agree that Luffy's Haki is probably not greater than all of them combined, but these are also 6 separate attacks. It's kind of like, think about it like this. If everybody's hitting, let's say you have a character like Kaido who can only be hurt by advanced armament Haki, right? Normal armament Haki doesn't do anything to him, right? So 6 characters with armament Haki can hit Kaido at the same time. It's not going to deal damage compared to one guy just doing advanced armament Haki. You get what I'm saying? It's not like that singular advanced armament Haki attack is stronger than all 6 of those armament Haki attacks, right? But it's just the same way that the Scabbards using Ryo isn't stronger than Luffy's King Kong gun, but it's just you need that extra level of Haki. One person using a greater level of Haki is ultimately going to be more effective than 6 people using an ineffective level of Haki, okay? It's the same way fucking Scopper Gaban, right? Using Advanced Conqueror's Haki. You can hit the Gorosei with however many Conqueror's Haki coding attacks you want. It's not going to work unless you use the level that Gaban's using, right? So that's it. I think people are trying to math it too much. To me, it's just no, there's a higher level of Conqueror's Haki we've yet to see. It's not like you add up all these and then Luffy's is going to be greater than that. It's just no, it's been pretty consistent throughout the story. An individual Haki attack that is the right level of Haki or whatever is often needed to counter certain damage resistant abilities. That's all it really is. Lane XYZ, thanks for the 2. Garp really going in on Emu is dope. He's saved. Yeah, I think this killed. What I liked about this chapter, many things. I loved many things about this chapter, but this chapter basically kills the anti-Garp. You can obviously still dislike Garp as a character. There's plenty of characters you could dislike for whatever reason. I dislike Law for irrational reasons, right? You're allowed to dislike whoever you want to dislike. But it kills the agenda that Garp's a piece of shit. He's just this evil bootlicking marine or whatever, this subservient celestial dragon shill. It's you can never make that argument again unless you're an idiot. That's basically what happened with this chapter. Unless you're an idiot and you legitimately don't understand the complexity of the world and the dynamics that Oda's trying to set up, as well as Garp's character. So I like that. It no longer feels like I need to, because I've had to go to bat in the past to try and defend Garp and explain why his character is being very, very severely misrepresented by lots of readers. But now I feel like now I feel like it's not even worth the time. Because now it's just okay, yeah. With this chapter, it's if you still think Garp is a celestial dragon bootlicker, you're just dumb. There's no need to engage with it, Dom, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 37 months. Astronomical, no evidence headcanon, but Emu Domi reversied the once allied 19 original kings against Joy Boy. Maybe if he turned them back afterwards. I don't know. because it's like those 19 kings then went on to become, celestial dragons and rule the world and shit, and they had kids and everything. Like, were they just Domi reversied their whole lives after that? And then, like, were they just Domi reversing their whole lives, and then they had kids, and the kids are like, why are my parents so fucking weird? Why are they, like, demonic and have, like, fire coming out of their eyes and, like, the wings growing out of them? Maybe Imu Domi reversied them and had them attack Joy Boy, but it's also just like... Oh, actually, you know what? Shit. I think it's the other way around. No, I think it's the other way around. I think... Oh, my God. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Thanks, baby. I think that now it makes sense. Something huge just clicked. As to why this war took place. It just makes so much sense. Okay. But he didn't. I don't believe he Domi reversed the original kings. I think it's I'll tell you guys later. Video that'll come out soon. Probably next break week. Evil friend, thanks for the 2. Where is Harold at? Harold better fucking show up, man. Otherwise, I think Harold just plummets in the character rankings for me. Starbright, thanks for the 5. Sanji or Zoro get reversied, and Sanji either needs Conqueror's Haki to combat Zoro or repel Imu out of him. So then does Zoro get a fight? I don't think people would be happy if just Sanji gets a fight and then Zoro's fight is I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I can imagine Sanji handling Domi reversing Zoro. Because even if you think Sanji and Zoro are like dead even, right? Then I think even most Sanji fans consider Zoro to be like at least a tiny bit stronger than Sanji. At best, dead even, right? I think it's very rare that a Sanji fan thinks that Sanji's above Zoro. So if Zoro gets Domi reversed, isn't that Sanji just fighting a stronger version of Zoro? I just don't know how that would work. I guess you could argue it'd be a good chance for Sanji to have a Haki bloom. I just don't think there's going to be any point in the story where Oda like caters to Sanji that hard that he puts him just straight up above Zoro. I just don't think that's going to happen, personally. Stormy says people weren't happy that Zoro's fight was Lucci, to be fair. Yeah, but like generally Oda will cater more to Zoro. So like people weren't happy that Zoro's fight was Lucci, but then Oda didn't give Sanji a fight at all. You know, like, so it's like even when characters are only being given scraps, Oda generally tends to give Zoro the better scraps. If you just go through, like arc after arc, it's very rare. Like Zoro usually gets a fight in most arcs. Sanji had to go all the way to Wano before he got his first actual fight, like his actual fight against a full fight against an opponent that concluded in a win, whereas Zoro got fights like pretty much every arc except for Whole Cake, in which he wasn't in. And then in Egghead, Zoro again gets a fight. It's Zoro's shittiest fight in the story, but he still gets a fight, whereas Sanji doesn't get a fight. It's just, I think it's highly unlikely that Elbaf is set up to be like, this will be an arc where Sanji just gets a great fight or even gets to beat up Zoro or something. I think the idea that Sanji's gonna get an arc where he gets to beat up an evil, amped version of Zoro is just fan fiction beyond a Sanji's fans' wildest dreams. I just think it's like very detached from reality. Zero! That sounds like something if a Sanji fan kidnapped Oda, put him in a closet and was like, I'm gonna write One Piece now. And then Zoro, that dumbass, gets Domi reversed by Imu. So now Zoro is the bad guy's puppet. What an idiot. And Zoro is this amped demonic monster now. And Sanji, classic hero Sanji, has to come in and he kicks Zoro's ass and saves Zoro and gets Conqueror's Haki in the process. I think if you just lay that out on paper and see what you're suggesting, I think you might realize that like no matter how hardcore of a Sanji fan you are, you have to realize that sounds like some ridiculously fan fiction-y writing that would require basically Oda being kidnapped by a Sanji fan who then takes over the story for a while. Um, it literally sounds like if a Saji fan just took over the story. It's like, Zero, thanks a lot. No fights in God Valley. Sad about your prediction. No fights in God Valley. What? These are fights. This was a fight chapter. This chapter was a, this chapter was, this is, pretty much exactly, so far what we've had in God Valley is pretty much exactly the level of action that I felt that we would be getting over the course of this. Obviously, the exact fights that we're getting is not, I never thought we'd get like a 6v1 versus Emu, but I did say that I thought that in God Valley, we are going to get fights, just closer to Marineford type fights than like Wano fights. Wano fights, or like Alabasta or Enies Lobby, we were never going to get like a full dedicated chapter like Zora versus King, Sanji versus Queen, Robin versus Black Maria. But I did think that we would get Marineford-esque fights where we get several panels, at least, of characters hitting each other. Like, more than just a singular one-off clash, but not, like, full chapters dedicated to a full story of a fight, right? So this is Marineford type stuff. This is what I was thinking we would get in God Valley. So I'm personally, like, to me, this is meeting expectations for sure. For me personally. Tiptio Treviso says, did my super get missed? Nope. You're right next. Tiptio Treviso, thanks for the 5. I love that you have a Blackbeard plus Emu's fruit equals top 1 villain when I know you wouldn't take Blackbeard right now over Emu, no fruit, just Haki. Blackbeard plus Emu's fruit equals top 1 villain when I know you wouldn't take Blackbeard right now over Emu, no fruit, just Haki. I think we need to see from Emu exactly. We have no idea how Emu fights without the Haki at the moment. We have no idea how Emu fights without the Haki, and I think we just got to wait and see. I also still think it's very possible that Blackbeard has another personality in him. Like the Davy Jones comment, but because initially we're like, a lot of people were like, what if Rox's soul was transplanted into Blackbeard, right? But now it's like, it's not Rox's soul. If Blackbeard has another soul inside of him, it's definitely not, it's not Rox's, right? It's very unlikely to be Rox's. So if there is some other personality inside Blackbeard, then that's what I'd be more worried about down the line. Maycon, thanks for the 5. Maybe the reason why Garp is still in the Marines is because Emu again, just reminders, we don't know how Blackbeard's able to eat 2 fruits. We don't know why Blackbeard never sleeps. There's something weird about Blackbeard that's been established so far, right? Maycon, thanks for the 5. Maybe the reason why Garp is still in the Marines is because Emu threatened to Domi reversy him and make him kill his family like he did with the Rocks. That would be insane, but Garp would probably like choose death or some shit over that. Like, that's not how Garp would react. Garp wouldn't just be like, I'm just going to live my life as your servant now. Angel, thanks for the 5. Morge, if I wanted to watch a convoluted anime, I would just put on One Piece. I'm kidding. R.I.P. to Rock's only real family man, and the boy gets exercised. He is a family man. Garp is a great, or Garp, Rox is a great family man. Let's get the stream likes up to 250 real quick, because we're almost there. Yeah, but I think we're not done with Rox's story just yet. Talha, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 18 months, man. Going from this to Usopp focus would be heartbreaking. Come on, man. Why do people keep using Usopp as the poster child for, like, why we don't want to go back to Elbaf? Wasn't everyone initially saying, like, haha, Elbaf isn't Usopp's arc. Usopp's not getting any focus in Elbaf. Haha, Usopp's just like a side character in Elbaf. But now people, like, you can't have it both ways. Now people are like, we can't go back to Elbaf and start focusing on Usopp again. It's like, either you're saying that Elbaf isn't Usopp's arc and Usopp gets no focus, or you're acknowledging that you do believe that Usopp is going to get some good character writing in Elbaf. Like, why is Usopp just... Man, Usopp just gets the short end of the stick no matter how people spin it. Like, we were getting so much good character shit in Elbaf before this flashback even started, and people were still roasting Usopp like, Usopp doesn't get jack shit. Now we're deep in this flashback, and people are like, I can't believe we gotta go back to Elbaf and read Usopp's story. It's like, motherfuckers, you guys said that this wasn't even Usopp's story. You said he had no role in it. If anything, we go back to Elbaf and we get to see, like, the Straw Hats fight against Emu. Isn't that pretty cool? You know, like, it's not like we're gonna cut this shit short. We're getting the setup of what the villain is, how strong he is, yada yada. And now we go back in time, forward in time to see the heroes deal with it. Anyway. The Loman says, if only admirals were at God Valley. No, what's funny is that the narrator literally tells us that the admirals are not strong enough to be at God Valley. Because the narrator is literally like, all the strongest characters on the seas, all the strongest men on the seas are assembled here at God Valley. So if you're not there at God Valley, you are not one of the strongest men on the seas. Again, you could argue that maybe today's admirals are better. Maybe. I don't know. Here's hoping that Oda continues to neglect him once we're back, and instead we get Monster Trio plus Loki. No, Usopp has, throughout the story, always been the best Straw Hat to, like, without question. Usopp has always been the best Straw Hat to go back to consistently for good character writing. Always. It's just it's just that the long stretches that we go where Usopp doesn't get character writing, that the character becomes very, very grating. Like, extremely grating. Just because, like, if he's not getting good character development or like a dedicated sort of character growth storyline, then his just dialogue is just a non-stop stream of him being a coward. And that's not fun. It gets dull after a bit, right? But you go through One Piece, it's like every major arc, right? Like, go back to fucking any arc where all the Straw Hats get fights, right? Like, you go to Arlong Park. Look at the fights in Arlong Park. The fight that had the best character writing, without question, was Usopp's fight. You go to Alabasta, right? The fights against Baroque Works, the fight that had the best character writing, without question, where we had the iconic line, the iconic moment of like, there's one thing I'm not going to let you laugh at, and that's my friend's dream, right? That's one thing you cannot let people laugh at, right? Like, that whole iconic scene, that's like, Usopp's writing is so much better than like Sanji fighting fucking Mr. 2 and being like, I can't hit you because Nami's got boobs. Or like Nami fucking around with the climate act for like for party tricks for like several chapters or whatever. Like, Usopp always gets the best written fight character-wise, right? It's just that those fights are often few and far between. Even like fucking Thriller Bark, right? Zoro versus Ryuma has like almost no writing. Sanji versus Absalom is a joke. Don't even fucking know what the fuck happened with Chopper and Robin versus Hogback. Usopp versus Perona. That was the real, that's the iconic fight from, like, one-on-one fight from Thriller Bark, where we all remember the moment that Usopp's like, I'm always negative, right? And then everything that ensues after that, where Usopp has to actually, like, you know, dig deep. The reason Usopp has the best character writing consistently for his fights is because Usopp is the most flawed of the Straw Hats. If you're the most, like, a character that is deeply flawed always has a lot to work with when it comes to their moments, right? The problem is when Oda doesn't give Usopp anything. So that's when you get, like, Wano or some shit, where it's just, he's just a coward from start to finish. But in any storyline where Oda has something planned for Usopp, it's the best written fight. Like, Dressrosa. Frankie, Senor Pink had great writing, but Frankie himself had, like, nothing. Frankie was just, like, fucking... just doing sumo plexes the entire fight, right? Zoro versus Pika, Zoro said some badass shit, but it's not like Zoro had great writing. Usopp sniping Sugar is arguably, like, the best written chapter. Like, Usopp sniping Sugar is easily the best character writing for any Straw Hat in all of Dressrosa. It's pretty consistent. Fucking Enies Lobby. Usopp didn't even get a fight in Enies Lobby, he got sniping. And Usopp's writing in Enies Lobby was the best of any Straw Hat outside of Nico Robin. Like, Usopp just gets underrated because we go through stretches where he doesn't get his storytelling, right? Usopp as a side character, like, Usopp as a side piece, right? Usopp as a side character is the worst Straw Hat. When it's time to give focus to each Straw Hat and everybody's getting some writing, Usopp is easily the best written Straw Hat. It's really not close. Anyway. Continuing on. Radko says, how long has it been since then, bro? I mean, I don't know what you want to argue. Like, we're not... I agree. It's been a long time since then. So if we get to Elbaf, we should hope that Usopp finally gets something after a long period of time. because we know that whatever Usopp gets, it's gonna be better written than the rest of the Straw Hats, because that's just what always comes with Oda giving time to Usopp. It's always the peak Straw Hat writing whenever Oda actually gives Usopp some shit. When Usopp gets his slice of the pie, it's the best slice. It's just Oda doesn't do that often. And Oda told us he would in Elbaf, so you should be looking forward to Usopp shit in Elbaf. You know, it's gonna be, it should be good. It should be good. Anyway, continuing on. Titanium Dragon, thanks for the 5, man. I feel like the whole working backwards to get to the scene idea is what a lot of writers do, and can make the writing the setup more interesting. Yeah, I agree. Like that's not like an Oda specific thing. I think how do I say this? I think you can see the trail a little bit more clearly with Oda. Like I think you can see the pieces a little bit in setup. In terms of like Oda really wants to get to this specific thing. Like you can tell what the scene is once it happens, and then you can kind of work backwards and be like, okay, that's why Oda kind of like forced this thing in, or like did this or something like that. I think Oda can be a little bit clumsy getting there, if that makes sense. Like, that's the only thing with him. But the scenes that he comes up with are so beautiful that it often doesn't matter. I missed Haven's super. Let me catch that. Hold on. Haven. Hold on. Let's see. Are you sure Haven's not later? Let me see. Fuck.